Hey, what's up, beautiful Bellcast listeners? Welcome to another episode of Bellcast. I am Gio.
And I am Bart. And we recently had this conversation where I was like, what? Are you serious?
Who's we?
You and me.
Is it you and I?
You and I.
Okay, anyway.
But you and I feel so formal. You know, when you're in a conversational setting, you don't use perfect grammar because then you're like, ugh, you're uptight.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
I don't think I understand what perfect grammar is, so I'm just trying to use basic
Whatever you can.
grammar.
Yeah, like if I was telling you like, and you're like, oh, what'd you do over the weekend? I'm like, well, Joe and I, it's like, ugh, you loser.
Okay.
But if I'm like, oh, me and Joe went to In-N-Out.
Oh, okay.
It's like, oh, it's chill, relax. This guy's not a loser.
Got it. Okay. What were we talking about that,
So the
gave you a
conversation
boner?
that didn't give me, I'll probably need a boner, but it didn't give me a boner.
Are you going to talk about my hygiene?
Why would I need a boner
I'm sorry.
for your hygiene?
I'm just that you're going to go, ugh.
Wait, why would I need a boner
Okay,
for
I'm
your
just
hygiene?
insecure about it, all right? Go.
Okay. And it was, we were just talking about having a second kid.
Oh.
And I was almost 100% sure, at least that's what you conveyed to me, that, you know, we're done.
Yes.
And
So was
like,
I.
Yeah. So it really blew my mind because, you know, we started to plan our life, our next 5 years, what we want to do with only one kid in mind. So can you walk me through some of your thoughts of how you arrived at, okay, for sure, we're only going to have one kid? Because I agreed with you, right? Like these are talks that we have together and we do family planning together. It's not a one-person decision.
Yeah.
But I don't think you caught me up on the second part where all of a sudden you're down to have two.
I mean, that was the beginning of the conversation. It wasn't like, this is what I'm deciding.
Yeah.
Let's start fucking.
Yeah,
no
yeah.
condoms.
Yeah, but
Raw,
you know, everyone
doggy
has
style,
like,
on the table.
but everyone has personal thoughts, right?
Yeah.
Before you even have a conversation. So I don't know what those personal thoughts were. So yeah, walk me through like, what was the thought process leading up to one kid final? And then you're like, you know what? I'm down to have another one.
Okay. So the one kid final was, the main thing was our lifestyle. Because we're just so busy. We're always like doing something. And then we saw what it looked like to have, you know, a newborn, infant, toddler. Now Tyka's going to school. So those first 3.5, 4 years were fucking nuts, right? Like I was lucky enough and to have, you know, the luxury of not working for a good 2 years or like a 1.5 years. And that was really cool. And that was very helpful. But then now bringing another kid into the mix, I was like, I don't think I can do it. Because Tyka's already a very curious, hyper, he feels like he's already 3 kids.
Yeah, he needs a lot of attention.
Yeah. Like and if he doesn't get the attention, it's like because he's so so curious, he's getting into trouble without like trying to be a bad boy.
Yeah, he's not troublesome.
Yeah.
But he gets into a lot of trouble.
Yes. And
like yesterday for his cousin's birthday, I don't know why he keeps going to the back of the moon bounce. Everyone's inside of the moon bounce, bouncing around. He always wants to go to the back, unplug it, or do all kinds of crazy stuff.
I know, all the kids are all yelling because the fucking thing's like deflating. Okay, so then I'm thinking of that, and then I'm like, man, it's not going to be fair that I already have limited time to spend with my one kid.
When you're thinking about these things, are you thinking about it like the way things are permanent? Because, you know, like some of the things that we talked about too is as Tyka gets older and he knows more, he's more aware, we do want to spend time with him, right?
Yeah.
So we've been making a huge effort in like the last couple of years to make our businesses a little bit more autonomous so that they can run with less involvement from us. We're trying to reduce our time in work. Instead of working like 60, 80 hours a week, how can we bring it down to a normal 40 and then maybe even down to a 30 or 20 if time permits? So for me, it was almost like, you know, in music terms, like crescendo and like decrescendo.
No.
So crescendo is like, ba, 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 ba. And then decrescendo is like, ba, 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 ba. So I almost felt like that's what we were trying to do.
Yeah.
Where like, as we like decrescendo some of our business and our lifestyle and doesn't feel as jam-packed, then maybe we have the chance of like increasing the amount of child and family time, you know?
Right. But I know that's not going to that doesn't happen overnight, and that's not going to happen in a year, and that's probably not going to happen in 3 years.
Oh, I thought it would happen in like 2 years, maybe.
No, I don't think so.
For real?
Yeah, I don't think so. And then the way you and I are, we're like, we love creating and we love building. So there's never been a time in my life since I've graduated high school that I've just been stagnant. Like I'm a mover.
Yeah.
You're a mover.
Yeah.
We love building. We love projects. We love creating a lot of things. So there's never been I'm not like a person that likes to like sleep in and take their time and like, oh, where's life? What am I feeling today? It's more like, yo, this is what I want and I'm actively working after it. And you're the exact same way.
Yeah.
So because I know we're those type of people and we have this curious freaking fireball, I'm like, fuck, it's not going to be fair to this new kid to bring them in. And then, you know, like, it's not going to be fair to everyone. Like our staff, our team, our friends, like everything that we're involved in, it's just going to not fuck it up, but it's just going to make things unnecessarily difficult. And
What about the thought process of like, you know, a lot of minority parents, or you don't have to be a minority, but just a lot of parents that just did it and made it happen. You know, like there's like so many middle class or lower income families that don't have the luxuries of like nannies and all that stuff, right? Just like regular parents, like our parents, right? And they just busted out like 3 or 4 kids, and they were busy too.
I'm a product of that.
Yeah, they were busy too, but somehow it made it work. And then now, when everyone's like 20 and 30, the Thanksgiving table looks so full.
It looks full, but then there's a lot of fucking trauma and a lot of drama and a lot of fucking, I hate this person and yeah.
Llama.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like I am a product of that. Like I grew up in a household of 4 siblings, 2 full-time parents or that worked full-time. And I didn't like that. I didn't have my mom. That's why for me, it was so important when we first got together that I was really adamant about telling you, once we start having kids, I don't want to work ever. Because I know how much work it takes and dedication it takes to give your kids attention. And that's what I wanted growing up.
Should have pulled out of social media immediately.
Who?
Me.
Why do you say that?
Because social media is a 24-hour job.
Well,
Should
okay.
have gone to law enforcement or
I mean, you could say that, but
paramedic
like,
or something.
no, I think it all matters. I think your why matters, right? Because like,
Yeah.
you could still make it work. And it doesn't have to be 24 hours. Like you can still build a whole team around it. You can still create content. Like it can all be planned out.
Yeah.
It feels like it's a lot because there is no plan.
Yeah.
It's not a sophisticated thing. But if we were intentional and made it sophisticated, yeah, it doesn't have to be 24 hours.
So when you were sitting at home, like in high school, with like 3 brothers and sisters, and your parents weren't around that much, and there's hella drama between the siblings, your first thought process was like, if we have less siblings, there'll be less drama?
No, I didn't think about it like that. I think it's when I got older and,
Yeah.
and like whatever effects happened at that time, whether I was like a depressed ass teen, I felt not seen. What the fuck?
Damn, bars today. Holy
I know.
shit.
I'm not trying
Damn,
to.
Bama Llama Fama. Scene,
Oh my
Medine,
God.
obscene, Kareem.
Oh shit! Yeah, I'm not trying
Wow.
to. But yeah, like all the results of it.
Yeah.
When I like in
Of the scene?
retrospect.
Yeah.
I was like, "Fuck, man, that sucked." Right.
Yeah.
But now that I'm older, I get it. Like, I completely understand. Right. But
Yeah.
I just didn't feel like I wanted to repeat that. Like, I just didn't feel like, you know, like bringing in kids when I know my schedule, I know my bandwidth, but then still going, you know, and kind of playing it by ear. I didn't want that to happen. Okay, so now.
Let me ask you a question. Because I always feel like pets are like a good precursor to kids.
Not even close.
What?
Go.
Are
Not
you
even
disagreeing
close.
with me?
I'm just saying they're not even close.
I mean, they're not close, but it's better than nothing.
True.
So they're a
I'll
good
give you that.
So they are a
All
good
right,
precursor.
fine. I'll give
Okay.
you that. Fine.
So because of that, you know, at one point we had 3 dogs, right? Did you ever feel like, holy shit, like with 3 dogs, the bandwidth is insane right now? Like it's getting, I'm like
No.
overclocked.
No. Because these 3 dogs that we had, we didn't raise them as puppies.
Oh, I see.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
when you have a puppy and you're raising all 3 at the same time, or they're just in different phases,
Yeah.
it's fucked, man. Because
That's
it's like
true.
you can have like a dog that's a year old
Yeah.
and then you get a puppy. That dynamic is already, it's cool, like it'll work. But now you have this baby that's teething, shitting, pooping, like they can't really take care of themselves.
Yeah, you have a lot of like mediation.
Yeah. And then one has, or like if you have like a puppy and now you have a senior dog, they fucking can't stand each other because the senior dog's energy is like, yo, I've lived my life, man. My joints hurt. I'm just trying to chill, like relax. And the puppy's like, let's fucking rage.
Yeah.
You know, so like that sucks. Or like, I guess the equivalent would be like having big dogs in a small ass space. And it's like you don't have a doggy door, but you also don't have a park either, but you're also really busy, but now you have to take them on a walk because they're hyper or they got to poop. Like there's just so much. One of them gets sick. Now you got to take them to the vet. Fuck, what's going on? It's just too much, you know?
Yeah. So we were lucky that all 3 dogs were kind of like adults. So
Well, because we did it like that way.
Yeah.
We purposely did it
Okay,
that
going
way.
back to your point then.
Yeah, so I just felt like it wouldn't be fair.
Yeah.
Because it's like I know what my life for the next 5 years looks like. I can imagine, right? Because like exiting a business and having it be autonomous, like you have to build up to that. And that's never, I mean, unless you've done it multiple times and it's a rinse and repeat. This is our first time ever owning a brick and mortar. Multiple, well, not brick and mortar, but just owning multiple businesses that are just like completely different than the digital space we came from. We've never done it. So this is like the first time we're cleaning everything up, putting in systems and like, you know, putting out like the operations and really making everything legit. That's fucking hard.
Yeah.
And it needs a lot of time because you like have to think of every single step of the way. It's like you're creating, I don't know, it's like you're building a building, but like you're creating the blueprints to pass on now to like the construction team and the carpenters and the fucking steel workers and all that shit. And they have to have a clear picture or else you're not going to get what you wanted. So I know that's going to take a long ass time. So now I have Taika who's 2, 3. And then to start that shit all over, dude, I can't. It wouldn't be fair to this kid.
Yeah.
But then.
Yeah, then how did you come to like, after saying all that.
I know.
And living and concluding all that to going, I'm ready to guzzle your cum again.
Well, it wasn't. My vagina's ready.
Yeah.
It wasn't like that, but it was more like as extreme left that I went, or as the direction that I went to on the extreme end.
Yeah.
I always want to keep an open mind, and I always tell myself that I don't have the full picture. I'm always like, I'm sure there's something that I'm missing. So I always keep that in mind.
I try to see that, but it's so fucking hard.
See what?
So yesterday, you know, when we were hanging out with your cousin's birthday, or not your cousin's, but your nephew's birthday, and there's people of all age groups there, right? And there's people that are like 70, 80, 40, 50, 20, 30, and then 10 and under. And when I'm there, I'm looking through my eyes. That's my present. That's my state of mind, right? My state of mind of examining what I see in front of me is from the lens of a 30-something-year-old.
Yeah.
So I see someone that is 20 or younger. I'm like, oh, young kids, I'll take care of you guys. What do you guys need? You guys need water? You guys need whatever? Everything's okay? Cool. And I see someone that's older than me, like let's say 40, 50. I'm like, cool, you guys are my seniors. I have all respect. If we're in a conversation and I see that it's not my place, I'll shut up. You know, I have that. That's my dynamic. And I see people that are older, like your mom, 70s and above. I'm like, cool, they're like grandparents. If I see them getting up and they need to go get a water, I'll just run up and grab things for them, right? And this is my present. And I'm like, oh, this is such a beautiful scene and snapshot. But I'm like, but that's unique to me. You know, so like someone that's like 70 or 80, they're like on top of it, right? They're like, wow, like look at what my offsprings have produced. I'm chilling, I'm relaxing. This is like literally like the fruits of my labor of the last 50 or 60 years.
The fruits of your humping.
And then that's their presence, right? That's their truth. That's what they see. And I'm like, it's so crazy. We're existing in the same exact time and space, but our truths are different.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, damn, like how do I put myself in your mom's shoes because of our conversation where we're like, you know what, right now, one kid is enough, right? But how do I know or not know that by the time I'm 70 in your mom's shoes with a completely different perspective, I'm like, fuck. When I was 30, I should have had another kid.
Yeah.
Because we even experience that now, right? Like there's people that are like, if I would have known what I know now when I was 15, you already have that type of like perspective shift now. So I'm like, man, how can I put myself when I'm 50, 60, 70, 80 to see if the decisions I'm making right now are going to be something that my 80-year-old self's like, good job, mister.
That is interesting.
You know what I mean? Like,
I know exactly what you mean.
Do you ever like kind of have like a circle of conference of yourself of all different ages and see if everyone got each other's back throughout the whole life? Like your 10-year-old self is talking to your 80-year-old self, or 70-year-old self talking to your 30-year-old self, and everyone's making a conscious effort.
I try to. On that note, let me pause real quick. I'm going to introduce our sponsor. Thank you so much to ZipRecruiter for sponsoring this podcast. I absolutely love using this service as a business owner. It can be super stressful trying to find qualified applicants for whatever position that we need in our workspace, and I never know where to look. Honestly, I'm like, should I don't even know where to start. I know I start asking like a lot of my other business owners and going like, hey, where do you guys go? And then we kind of do online thing, but then like online it's just such a wide, like you're casting such a wide net, and the people that usually apply are people that are not qualified, that are just like, hey, well, I'm kind of looking for something casual. But with ZipRecruiter, what's really, really dope, at least for on my end of the hiring process, is I put down all the qualifications, all the requirements that I need when I'm looking for an applicant, and they search through all of their, millions of different profiles and resumes that, applicants have submitted. I have like honestly a smorgasbord of like different applicants from all walks of life that are highly, highly qualified. And what I love is the way that it's organized. So they'll say, hey, like, if I'm looking for like a designer, for example, I write it all down. They have templates already for you. So I don't even have to sit there and go, okay, wait, what do I look for outside of my own specific needs? Like they already have templates and you just kind of like fill them in really quickly.
And that's my favorite part actually for a lot of you aspiring entrepreneurs out there, is that sometimes you don't even know what you're looking for when you're hiring the new person, because you haven't got there in that level of business yet. You didn't know that you needed person A with also person B talents, or person B with person A talents. And that's what's cool, because there's a lot of other companies that are ahead of you in the development of business, and they've already looked out for that. So when we were hiring people, it helps out. Like, oh yeah, it makes total sense for the production coordinator to also have this set of skills, because then it makes the communication between the departments way easier. So that's what I love about the whole template.
And then so I submit whatever I need the next day. Honestly, even within the next hour, I'm already getting applications coming in, and then I can sort through them really, really easy. It's called like this quick rating. So I look at it, and as soon as I see things that don't align with whatever it is that I'm looking for, I can just move it on, and they get notified. And then on the other end, like how stressful is it to apply for a job? So you create your free profile, you submit your resume, and then ZipRecruiter starts submitting it to, business people like myself. And I get your resume without you having to like go door to door the way I guess we had to back in the day. Remember that?
Yeah.
So yes, ZipRecruiter is for literally everyone looking to get a position filled or trying to fill a position. And because you guys are supporting this podcast, we're going to hook you guys up. So don't sleep on ZipRecruiter, because what are you waiting for? If you want an easier job search, sign up for a free ZipRecruiter profile right now at ZipRecruiter.com. Once again, go to ZipRecruiter.com today and sign up. It's absolutely free. Have ZipRecruiter do all the work for you. Okay, and we're back. Okay, so the question was, if I ever have a conference with myself of all ages?
Yeah, like a council of all of the ages of yourself. And do they...
I don't think I have a council of that.
Or do they talk to each other? Or do they even exist?
No. So what happens in my head is I see snapshots of moments.
Yeah.
So I'll have a snapshot of like Taika's first day of school, and then like our 10-year wedding anniversary, 20, whatever. Like I see different milestones in my life.
Yeah. Future and past or present?
Never past.
So just future.
Mainly future.
I see.
And I'll look at that, and I look at that picture, and I'm like, am I going to be happy with that picture? Like, does that, like how it is now and how I assume that my life progresses, am I going to be happy with that image?
And
so,
is your picture math really good?
I mean, it gets me fired up for sure. Like, so one of them would be like fitness, for example, right?
Yeah.
Like, am I going to be happy with myself if like I'm more sedentary and I buy into all the excuses of like, yeah, sleep in. Yeah, you're tired. Nah, don't try this new, I don't know, bike ride or trail. Like, nah, don't try this new sport. Like, it's very intimidating. You're scared. Like, nah, don't do it. Just chill. You've done enough already. You're an athlete. I think you can call yourself that. That's chill. And then I look at myself in 10 years and like now Taika's getting into stuff and like I can't keep up anymore. And I'm like, oh, fuck, that sucks.
Yeah.
You know, so I'll see things like that.
That's pretty good picture math.
Oh, is it?
Oh, I just call it
Picture math?
Picture math, vision math, dream
so
math.
So I had a picture math.
But being able to add and subtract the things that you're going to do to see if it amounts to what you want.
Yes.
Yeah.
So for me, I always try to keep my life why as simple as possible because when I complicate shit, then there's more excuses for me to make. Right? Because then I don't have a clear picture and there's so many exits that I can take. And now it's like I have so many options that it becomes overwhelming. And I'm like, well, what do I really want? So I try to keep it as simple as possible. And I'm like, what the fuck do you want, Gio? And I'm like, well, I want happiness. All right, well, what does happiness look like to you? Okay, well, I want to have a circle around me of people that I adore, I respect, and I admire, and I want them to see me the same way. And that's basically it. Like, it doesn't get more complicated than that. And then I go, well, what do you admire? And then I start looking at those things and I start trying to become that. So then going back to the conversation of like me kind of bringing it back up and going, hey, you know what? I'm thinking having kids again or whatever. I'm never 100, right now at least, I'm not 100% sure that's what I want. But when I was looking back at that picture math, right? And going, well, okay, what is our dinner table going to look like when Taika's my age?
Well, it depends if you get it from West Elm or not. Or a Crane Barrel.
I know, right?
Yeah.
I know. What
living
colors
spaces
is it?
or IKEA? Like which one are we getting?
Yeah. What type of house am I going to be in? Yeah. So
one of my
like,
favorite things that you do is if I tell a joke that's funny but not that funny, is you laugh without smiling.
I do that.
Sometimes.
I do that. What is it?
I feel like I didn't do that good of a job. So you're like, tell me something that you...
No, I'll explain why that is. I'll explain what it is. You know what it is?
What is it?
Because I'm in such deep thoughts
Yeah.
that it's good that
Yeah.
like you pull me out of that deepness because I really want to focus because I don't want to lose my train of thought.
Yeah.
So it's like it was so funny that I still had to get it out.
I see.
You know,
Yeah,
if it wasn't funny, I would just keep going with my train of thought.
Oh,
but it's
fine.
like I'm trying so hard to stay on track that like you fucking threw me off that I'm like, oh, but wait, go back on or else you're gonna forget.
Yeah, that's cute.
Like right now, I forgot what I was saying.
They're saying,
my picture math.
The picture math of the dinner table and all that stuff.
So then I look at this picture math of like, okay, well, what is that gonna look like when he's my age? He's gonna have a significant other or a partner or whatever, and it's just gonna be us four. Damn, that's kind of lonely. And then I'm like, all right, well, okay, so he's gonna be 4 right now. If I have another kid, he'll be 5. They can still be pretty tight. You know, because I grew up with huge age gaps with my siblings.
Yeah.
And regardless of the age gaps and how much I didn't like it and how much I envy is not a right word because I don't really envy shit, but like how much I wish I had, you know, the sibling dynamics that other people have when they're like, oh yeah, we're like a year apart, 3 years apart, whatever. And yeah, we're pretty tight. I'm like, oh man, what does that feel like? That's pretty sick.
Yeah.
But now that I'm older, I'm 37 and like, you know, my sister's 15 years older than me. My brother's 10. My little sister's 6 years younger. I'm like, it's still cool though. Yes, I didn't have the same dynamic that other people had that I'm like, oh man, that looks really cool. Or what you see on TV. But when we get together, it's pretty cool. You know, and we all can share so many different parts of our life and present it in a different light because we're all so distant in our age gaps that it's like, they teach me so much more.
Yeah, because for a period of time, even your oldest sister and your youngest sister, they were like super close for a while.
Yeah, and it was like.
And how many years are they apart? They got to be like 15 or 20 almost.
So if me and my sister are 15, me and my little sister are 6.
So that's 21 years.
Yeah.
So, because I also think like when you look at them as a baby, 1 or 2 years is a lot. You know, but when you look at someone that's like 40 and 50, you're like, oh, yeah, they could be friends.
Yeah, it's not that much.
Yeah.
Like me and my brother were pretty tight.
Yeah.
You know, and it's the 10-year gap.
Yeah.
But it's like, I feel like after a certain age, it's now on you to gather your own information, your own wisdom or whatever, and like whatever life throws on your fucking plate is like how you grow and develop.
Yeah.
You know, so me and my brother, we can talk about a lot of shit. Yeah, the technical stuff, like if it comes to his work or my profession or whatever, of course. Like I'm gonna know way more about my shit than he's gonna know about his and vice versa.
Yeah.
But when it comes to life, we have a lot of the same principles, a lot of the same aspirations, you know?
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of stuff that I really look up to him too. Or like, cause he's just so family oriented and he's all about like bringing everyone together. And I'm like, wow, that's so sick.
Yeah.
But yeah, so when I was looking at that picture math, I'm like, damn, am I doing my future family a disservice?
Yeah.
Like with just one kid?
Yeah, you are. Yeah. I'm just kidding.
What the fuck?
I'm just kidding.
You know, and I think that's when it opened that conversation back up in my mind. Because I'm like, yes, I was trying to be selfless and selfish at the same time.
Yeah.
Selfless by going, damn, I don't want to bring in another kid when I can't give him my 100.
Crazy busy, yeah.
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 And I want to give my 100.
Yeah.
And then I was like being selfish, because I'm like, I don't want to go through that. You know, like I already put in my time. I don't want to start all over with a kid.
Yeah.
People love that shit. People love, you know, being pregnant and doing all that stuff. Like that's not me. And I think that's okay. And I'm like, yeah, I guess I'm going to be selfish. I don't want that.
Yeah.
You know? And then I go back to being selfless again and going, but damn, am I doing Taika a disservice by like not having that dynamic? And then I think of you. But then I think of people like Tim, right? Like Tim Chantarangsu.
Yeah.
And he loved being an only child. He's like, I had no qualms with it. Like it was dope. So like I'm always going back and forth and I'm always trying to like really make sure that I've what's the word? I've like looked at everything. Examined.
Yeah.
I've examined all possibilities that matter to me. So then that's when it came back up. Where I'm like, damn, I might be reconsidering it. Cause it's like this is gonna be so I'm gonna be 38 this year. Pregnancy is 9 months. I'll probably have my kid closer to 39. Holy shit.
You're healthy though. You're a different 39.
Yeah.
You're built different.
Thanks. That I'm like, okay, I really, really got to think about it now. Where I really thought about it then, but I'm like, now you really have to like, that's it. You have to fucking put it in stone and you got to commit to something.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's where my whole thought process was.
Yeah, I'm for you with both of it because I think like as a dad, I almost feel like dads don't have the 50-50 choice because it's like you have the 50-50, maybe not even 50-50 in child raising. You know, I think just the default as much as, and I'm just talking about like traditional, stereotypical like or stereotypes of a dad, as attentive as we try to be, I don't think we just have the maternal instincts of like, how moms can like hear through walls and like is like omnipresent in this house.
Yeah, we're God.
You know? It's like
we're God in the house.
Yeah, you got two dudes working on a car in the garage and then they're supposed to be watching the kid and the mom comes home and it's like, where's the kid? Both dudes are like, hey, where are you? You know, the kid could be under the car or it could be somewhere else now. It's just two dudes just get fucking lost.
You guys are dumb.
They're fucking dumb, you know? And so I think even in the child rearing part or child raising process, I think honestly, it's probably like 60-40. It's 60-40 in the child raising and then for sure in the having the baby, it's like 99-1. It's just the dad was there the night of conception, you know?
Yeah, that's fucking it.
Yeah. So that's why for me, from my perspective, it's always like I almost value your decision more than mine.
Yeah.
And I don't feel like it's right of me to pressure.
Yeah.
Although for me, my final picture is to have like two kids. That's what I would love to have two kids and see them play together. But it's not my call to make, you know, because the way the math adds up, at least for me, like if I do my picture math, if our work is split 60-40, right? Then if we have two kids, that's now 120-80. A third kid, that's now 180-120. So the gap gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, you know? So by the time there's like fucking 10 kids, that's 600 and I'm only doing like 400 worth of work, you know? Now there's a 200 gap that needs to be made up for.
You fucking geek. How did you mathify life?
Well, that's just how,
or like having kids.
Probably how I got my ass beat for math. So that's the only way I know how to look at life, you know? So I just see that and I can order. So my picture math is actually pretty good. And I'm like, oh, fuck, that's rough on you. And not even something where, well, why don't we split the task 50-50? It's just, that's just the way we look at things, you know? The same thing as some things I think paternal instincts are just better at. Like in terms of like establishing security around the house, or if there's shady like people, there's just guys are just more in tune with that, you know? So I'm like, oh shit. And it's like, you know, there's like girls are just oblivious all the time. And
I'm not like that.
You're not. You're actually really good because you grew up in the hood. But there's a lot of oblivious people, and it's just.
And they're not just girls. I've seen a lot of.
There's a lot of dudes too. There's a lot of dudes too.
The fuck.
But yeah, there's just a lot of parts that like have paternal instincts are just better at, you know, and but those I think are a little bit easier than like raising the kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I appreciate that. Of you so much is that I don't feel this pressure, but because I love you so much, and this is what I love about our relationship is that we always have each other's back all the time.
Yeah.
So as much as you're willing to put down your own wants and to support mine, I'm fighting just as hard for your wants to put my own shit down, right?
Yeah.
So if I was like by myself and let's say I just went to like a fucking sperm bank.
Yeah.
And that's how kids were made or whatever, or like how I wanted my kids to be made.
Like if it was like, I don't know, 2050 or something, and that's like
that's
the new
way.
standard.
Yeah.
No one fucks anymore.
Yeah.
Everyone just goes to the sperm bank.
Yeah, then for sure I'm just having one kid. Because I don't give a fuck. Like
Yeah.
there's nothing else to consider other than myself. You know, and whatever I want. But because I love you so much and I want us to give each other what it is that we want. Like I love that we support our wants, each other's wants so much. That I do heavily consider that I know you want more kids. And I really try to like really examine it and make sure that like I don't overlook my own wants, but then I also don't overlook your wants. And I'm like constantly working on all that.
Well, I hope this takes some stress off your back, but I don't think one want is happier than the other. You know, I think us three, our three musketeer dynamic right now is fucking awesome. And I think it's super happy. And I think if we had a four musketeer dynamic, I think I'd be super happy too. And I don't see
but
one.
A different type of happy.
A different type of happy.
But the same happy.
But it's the same.
the same amount.
The same amount. Yeah. It's the same amount of happiness. Just like when we had like one dog, you know, when we had one dog, it was awesome. When we had three dogs, it was a different type of awesome. Like the one dog, when we had just one or two at a time, we got to get really intimate with them, you know. And
can you use another word?
Yeah, it was like we had like strong physical connection, you know.
That's not the right word I was looking for, dude.
No, but you understood them so much more, almost like as if they were another human being. You know, their quirks, their wants, like what makes them tick. Like you just know them so well. Versus when you have three dogs. You
still know them, but
but you give up some of the intimacy for now the intimacy of the group dynamic.
Yeah.
So now I know if I bring out this treat, all three of them are going to be coming here, wagging their tail, and then they're going to love it together versus like knowing them individually the way that we had when we had just one dog, because we just had to understand what made that tick. So the happiness is different, you know, and it just depends on what we want. But I don't see one being happier than the other. Because even with just Taika, I'm so happy because he's so freaking cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm also considering his happiness.
That's true too, yeah.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
And then I really do try to examine every fucking situation like you wouldn't believe. So then with him, right, I'm like, fuck, he would have so much. He would love having a sibling. But then that's me also going, when I had siblings, I didn't love it.
He might hate it too. You never know.
I was like, fuck, man.
Because now he has to share way more.
Yes. I was like, what the fuck? I wish I was an only child because now the attention can all be on me. So then there's always like a yin and a yang, right? Like a light and a dark. There's always an opposite to everything. So then I think about that and I'm like, well, yeah, I'm assuming he's going to love it, but he's probably going to hate it. Or he could probably love it and it's going to be the perfect fucking picture and it's everything I ever wanted or we ever wanted or dreamed of. And then the other side of me goes, well, but what if I put him in a lot of activities and now he's growing up with a lot of kids his age, makes a bunch of really cool friends, and he's never really alone because he's always with just friends. I'm like, that works too.
So different from siblings, though.
Yes, but then it could still also be really cool because it's like you can have that sibling type of feeling because you always have your best friend there, which is kind of like what a sibling would be. But that person gets to go home and now you get your parents again.
I see. The sibling part that I think it's the part that's irreplaceable is living with someone that you hate.
Yeah.
And I think
what does that teach you? What do you?
A lot. I think that teaches a lot of deep lessons, you know?
How do you know? You didn't have any.
Exactly. But that's what I always wish that I had.
Give it to me.
But I'll see like siblings that like fight and they're not talking for a month or whatever, but they still got to see each other. They still got to take a family picture at the Dodger game and all smile. You know, they still got to like, it's like, there's this level of like loyalty, commitment to each other that I think it's hard to understand if you don't have like that strong family bond. You know what I mean?
Hold that thought because I have something to say. And I want to introduce our next sponsors.
Shout outs to our sponsor, Liquid Death.
Oh, I love it.
Do you think you've been watching me drink beers in the vlogs? No, buddy, because there's a new water in town.
I love it.
It is delicious water, both still and sparkling, but both from Mountain Spring water in the form of a tall boy. And believe it or not, it actually tastes the best, in my opinion. Like the water coming out from a glass bottle, plastic bottle, and metal can, it actually tastes the best that way, and it's super, super refreshing. So if you start noticing that there's all these strange tall boys of beer in the bottled water section of your local stores, it's not beer. Someone didn't misplace it. It's actually Mountain Spring water from the Alps, and it's called Liquid Death. And you know why it's called Liquid Death? Because they're trying to brutally murder your thirst.
I love that.
And their infinitely recyclable tall boy cans are helping to bring death to plastic bottles.
Yes.
Because plastic is very, very hard to recycle, to break down. So they also donate 10% of the profits of every single can sold to help kill plastic pollution. So I love everything about this company, from the branding. Yeah, like metal branding to freaking this hardcore, rugged, delicious water to what they're trying to do to the environment. You can't go wrong. Make sure you go check it out. If you ever see it in a grocery store, grab a couple of Liquid Death and you will thank me later.
Make sure to go to liquiddeath.com/Bellcast to get a free set of koozies with your first order of any case of water. Or you can just grab some up at Whole Foods or 7-Eleven.
And we're back. Okay, so you're saying that having siblings teaches you a sense of loyalty that you can't get anywhere else.
And I'm talking about siblings that have had an established, like, strong infrastructure. Do you get what I'm saying?
Kind of.
So if the parents did a good job of like, hey, you guys are blood related, you guys are gonna have to have each other's back no matter what, and we take care of our own here, which I've seen a lot, right? Whereas like if someone picks on your brother, you're gonna fuck them up.
Even though you hate your fucking brother.
Yeah, even if you hate your brother, you fuck them up. But then also when you find out and you come home that your brother started it, you fuck him up. But you don't ever let nobody else touch your brother. That's your fucking brother. Your brother's keeper, right?
Yeah, we have that.
Yeah, if there's that strong type of like familial, like this is our fucking shit, no one fucks with us.
Yeah.
And it's instilled, that type of like daily reminder, living through it, I've seen a very strong sense of loyalty and bond that I never saw with like people that didn't have that didn't grow up like that. And that's something that I think is really, really dope. And I wish that's something that I had. So I think I would see like my best friends growing up and there'd be beefing and stuff, but they still go out to eat. You know, they're still celebrating each other's birthdays. There's like you get taught this lesson of like, no matter what gripe or thing that I have, it's never as important as how it makes the group feel. So let me put that away. Let me swallow that for a temporary moment. You know, it's like I fucking hate my brother right now, but guess what? This is his graduation. So
yeah,
let me put this away, and we're gonna all show up, support, take all the pictures supposed to take, and have a good time and support my brother, even though I fucking hate him, and I'm still gonna hug him like, hey, you know what? You graduated. I'm proud of you.
You put it away for a little bit.
Yeah, I'm proud of you.
You bring it back out later.
But then right after, fuck you, you know? And
Yeah.
I think like that is that type of lesson where you have to put a little bit of your own wants away for the greater good of what's happening. I don't know if it's instilled as much as people without that strong familial structure. And I say strong familial structure because I've also seen families with a lot of siblings that don't have that. So that familial structure is almost more important than having the siblings. So it makes me think, talking in a circle now, that maybe Taika doesn't even need to have a sibling to learn it, but that principle, we need to teach him that.
Yeah.
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 Because
Yeah.
I also
yeah.
feel like I have that structure for a lot of it for someone that doesn't even have siblings, but it's because I saw my mom and her brother and her sister have that. Like
Yeah.
they got each other's back. Their sibling relationship is more important than their marriage. That's how strong that shit
Damn,
is.
that's nuts.
So that's how strong that shit is. It's like
Yeah.
at the end of the day, you guys are fucking related. You guys can have multiple husbands, wives, who knows what the fuck's gonna happen, but you three need to get each other's backs. And these fucking fools are like, I don't know, 60, 70 now, and they're still like,
Super tight.
and I think because growing up watching that and seeing how they've always tried to get each other's backs through my mom's divorce, you know, through all that stuff, I'm like, oh shit, that's really, really important. And that's what family really means.
Okay, so we don't have to have another kid. We can still instill all these things in Taika.
Well, I think we can. Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard, right? Because
Yeah.
it's like you can justify or you can reason or things make sense on both ends of the spectrum. Like only child versus not.
Yeah, there's pros and cons in each.
There is.
And there's preferences. So just because some of the pros might actually be cons to you and some of the cons might be pros to you depending on your preference.
Yeah.
Like for Tim, he loved being it. But growing up on my street, every family that I saw had like 2 or 3 siblings. And I was like the kid that was like, oh, how come we can't have another one?
Do you think it'd be that way if you had your parents still stay together and it was a little bit happier?
They did have 2 other kids. One was aborted and one was a miscarriage.
Okay, well that doesn't apply.
Oh, what are you trying to say?
Just no, I'm not saying anything about other kids.
Oh.
I'm just saying, would you have felt that way of going, oh man, I want other siblings, if your parents were together, it was a happy marriage, they did shit with you, like what you saw in your best friend growing up, like
Yeah.
that family
The whole
dynamic.
enchilada?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the everyone goes on bicycle rides together.
Yeah.
Everyone's like one unit.
Yeah.
If you were the one unit, like kind of how we're raising Taika,
Yeah.
would you still feel like, damn, I wish I had another sibling?
That's hard to say. That's hard to say because
I
don't
feel
know.
like it is, but
Yeah, it's hard. It's really hard to say
let's
because
play with it.
because you know, when you want another little brother and sister, it comes out of just the raw emotion of loneliness first, right? Because when you're fucking 4 or 5, you don't know shit about life, right? You just know that it feels empty, it feels lonely, right? How come we don't have someone else in this family? That's what it feels like, right? And my loneliness could have came from just being raised by a single mom. So who knows? Maybe that loneliness void would have been filled if my dad was present more, and we did a lot of family activities and do the things that we do with Taika, right? Like we literally play with them like every day. Take them swimming, playing baseball, ride bikes, play tag, shoot each other inside the house with Nerf guns. Like that type of childhood I never had. So who knows if I had that childhood, if I would yearn for another sibling. Maybe that's
Yeah.
what Tim had because Tim's parents are still together.
Yeah, they're dope.
Who knows, you know? Or it could just be, there's also what they say, like it's really hard to replace peer-to-peer interaction. You know, like,
But then even if you have a sibling, it's not really peer to peer because there's an age gap.
but there's in the same generation.
I see.
So they're generally going to be both born in an age of internet.
Yeah.
You know, they have a very similar outlook on life. Even if they're maybe 10 years apart, their outlook on life is different from ours, where our CD player was like fucking this big, like the size of a fucking cinnamon roll from Cinnabon, and they don't even know what a CD is, you know?
Yeah. What is a CD, old guy?
Compact disc.
Oh.
Yeah, it came after the cassette tape and after the 8-track player.
I never saw the 8-tracks, but I saw like a small stint.
Yeah, I think my mom's Pontiac had an 8-track player. It's a
Those things are
big
fucking
square.
big ass boxes.
Yeah, it's a big fucking square you stick in there.
That's fucking nuts. Yeah, like now even talking this out with you now, I'm like, I still don't know what the right decision is.
Yeah.
Not that there's a right or a wrong, but I just don't know what to do.
And I also think that's part of life too.
Yeah.
I think sometimes a lot of times in life, you don't know what the right or wrong decision is, you know?
Yeah.
And then I actually think the key to life is adapting correctly more than choosing right the first time.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like you can choose, like how many people have we seen I've seen people literally take the exact opposite roads to success.
Yeah.
The guy that was born into a rich family, had a basketball private coach, went to summer camp, and then went, the top junior high, top high school, summer camp, D1, NBA. Then you got the guy that's just like straight up from the streets, played street ball, but just had natural talent that you can't ignore it, and came up and just did their own free throws, and then they still arrived at the same way. And then so now when you have a kid, you go, do I put him in basketball camp or do I not? Because some kids don't need it. Some kids do need it. Some kids need it from a revenge story point of view. There's that one PE teacher that said I couldn't make it, So there's a guy that was highly driven by negative reinforcement, and there's another guy that's highly driven by positive reinforcement. So for me, I'm like, there's multiple roads to the same destination.
Yeah.
So it's not even really about which road you take, but how well you ride the road that's given to you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's deep.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's also just being committed to your decision regardless of the results.
Yeah.
Because I think if you're not committed to your decision, I feel like that's when regret happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if we go, we're gonna have a kid and we're gonna be happy about it, and this is what we want, and then like really being committed to that shit, regardless of like how hard it's gonna be or whatever. I guess it's having that strong why.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Because it's like, why do you want to have, I'm only bringing up this kid because this is the topic of the podcast, but like, why do you want this kid and really understanding and going, this is why? Then I feel like any how can be endured.
Yeah. Why do you want to have this one kid, and why do you want to have a second kid?
Right.
And why does your family need to be 4?
Yeah. Because I think if you don't have that strong why, then everything's shaky. That's when regret happens.
Yeah.
That's when you're like, fuck, man, I fucked up.
And that's when I think also when you have like a sensitive skin too. Like it's easy for someone to just go, why'd you do that? Or, sometimes people get drunk or at a family gathering, they just talk shit. Oh, must be nice, whatever. And then you're like, oh, your feelings get hurt because your why wasn't strong. Because I think when your why is strong, people can clown on you all day.
Don't give a fuck.
It just goes.
Yep. Because it's like,
because you know why.
Clear vision.
Yeah.
Yeah. So fuck. I don't know what we're gonna do, guys. Well, I guess you'll know by the end of this year what we decide to do, because for me,
that's the ultimate biological factor. Yeah.
Yes. For me, this is it. If it doesn't happen this year, it's never gonna happen. Like I'm done. Like 100%, no going back. Set and fucking etched in stone. I'm done.
Yeah.
So stay tuned.
But with our track record and seeing how many forever homes we have, you might have a kid when we're like 43.
Oh my God.
Like, we're done. We said we're fucking done.
Jesus.
And you're having a kid.
I'm 42 and having a kid. Oh my Lord. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope this gave you guys some insight into just living your life with a strong why and being able to endure any fucking how.
Yeah.
Have a beautiful day. And also thank you to our sponsors.
So thank you guys for getting close with us, because it's pretty cool that as me and Gio get closer during these very intentional conversations, you guys are also able to get close with us. And it's really cool to feel like that we're all in this one big family together. And like always, I want to shout out our sponsors. Our very first one, of course, is Barbell Brigade, me and Gio's own fitness, strength, apparel, supplement, and gym company. If you need anything to cover you for your strength journey, from knee sleeves to wrist wraps to supplements to dope looking clothes to even a physical gym in downtown LA, make sure you go check us out at barbellbrigade.com. And also our matcha shop, Jumbi, if you want to get ceremonial grade matcha at an affordable price. And we have all kinds of flavors and different types of servings and tins and daily servings. Don't forget to use the code BEAW, BEAW, to get 10% off. Make sure you go to jumbishop.com and see you guys next time. Bye.